sunny South Africa kaloku it's your favorite time of unsuku as thina sinizisela TOMz unqaba phambili kaloku the SciTech Education apha ku SABC 1 if not Mzansi for sure then what?
No, brought to you by SABC Education.
I hope it's you were just in time for the show, okay? Though we watched his 2 minutes late.
So I had to walk all the way to the studio.
Guys,
one of the gears just came in, so so there's nothing worse than to show villa or figuring down a bicycle.
Well, guess during the time it's all about gears, so guess let's check how they work inside the machines. Why is
while we added footy, I guess we can also take a close look at how the gears inside iwash to obsess and
get times off the essence. So coming up next on TOMz,
what gears are in machines.
We check out the amazing tech that goes into making boats move on water by the interior parts.
How mechanisms inside the masterpiece on your wrist help you tell time.
We take a global look at time and see why different nations are at a different place in time.
Get your hands dirty with some extreme apps and activities through digital tools.
Why go and a notebook look for some inspirational words from Indwendo Zethu namhlanje.
Hey, it's TOMz.
So gears and so does it watch Liam. Now, which other machines use gears?
We watch those metaphorical gears turning inside your head.
A gear cool. Gear is a gear. That's what I know. I understand. Yeah, it's been included inside a car. Like it has a gearbox and all the stuff.
A gear it's an object that makes let's say a motor to move. It happens in terms of it turns and makes something to move in a motion of, and moves in a motion where it directs where the motion going. Like it turns, let's say it turns to the right and makes the other one turn to the left.
And a gear, in terms of my understanding, it is a certain it's a certain object which you use to get desired movements within maybe let's say a car or a watch or anything else that has a gear.
Basically, a gear they work in terms of something that needs to move in order to move something from a certain area to another area, in order to make something to have motion, to have a certain velocity to move.
Like a car, it needs gears in order for it to move. If you want it to move at the desired speed in which you want it to move, you use a gear to change the speed of the car.
Now guess one of different big machines. You only and washing machines. Now we only see the products that they make, like in umbane. So machines are used to generate umbane law.
Big machines are made up of smaller machines called simple mechanisms. Usually they have 1 or 2 parts like gears.
But what do gears do? Why? A gear is made up of a wheel with teeth called a cog. Now to do work with a gear, you need at least 2 cogs with their teeth fitting into one another. The main purpose of these mechanisms is to transmit power from one part of a machine to another. Big gears can be used to turn smaller gears since there is less energy required to turn the big one than the small one. They use this in wind turbines and other machines that generate umbane, creating maximum output with minimum effort. It also makes the smaller gear turn much faster. Gears can also be used to change direction, so whenever one turns, the one connected to it will turn in the opposite direction.
Just as many everyday objects use gears. There's one particular machine that uses gears for the ultimate in sports and fun.
And guess not something that Nani Otika we born in yoga. Can you guess what it is?
The first boy still on the mission, but fair to secure mission yet, and I'm trying a simple mechanism. Also, Bagashella and Passay Capeni, about the Castella Gammas apart E Cap, which is 7 summer care, no matter Jenny Moto. We don't know that, but we're gonna find out right now. TOMz, come with me, baby.
Camping and boating center. Yeah, more on Apex.
Okay, but I'm trying to simple mechanism, and there's a transmission yakona, which is 7 summer gear and journey, no guti in a zippy in Tonga Pagats.
In a control box, Kamari, engine in the control box, yellow one will be forward or neutral or reverse and then steering the sauna on a cable, on a hydraulic, oil, engine really outboard, so Jiga on Agavion, and then Jigala Gua engine, then Jig escape become sighting.
Okay.
Yeah. And Jigala Gua Jig outboard, or Sana Leonel Longoyo. So the control box e bereka so ene di cable ye lo bana ga botse romela message kua morago kua gore gearbox e khona go change di gear pele go ba morago gore maybe gare
ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi ama-gears wakhona ayafana newemoto isebenzisa i-driver isebenzisa i-clutch isebenzisa i-gear isebenzisa zonke lezi zinto lezo
yeah ene gear ene steering yeah ene di gear di swana le tša koloi fela mara tše ke re ke tše 2 fela because in the water you don't need 2 speed or 3 speed or 5 speed just need forward and reverse
that's it, that's all you need. So ngitshele ba i-gearbox yakhona inani
ene di gear tše 2 fela ya pele le ya morago fela yeah and ka mogare gone nto e changeang di gear a ene clutch ya go swana le ya koloi ke dog clutch re bitša re ke dog clutch ye lo bane e ya pele oba morago fela
okay ngidongichazele kabanzi bakuthi dog clutch yenzani
dog clutch ke dogin clutch lo bane kore ge lo bane o nyaka go morago e ya gearing ya morago ke clutch yone ge lo bane o nyaka go pele e ya gearing ya pele fela because I need to get it over 2 gears fela
okay so bangifuna ukwazi ke ukuthi i-clutch ne-gear isebenzana ngokufana njengemoto ukuthi bawunathela i-clutch bawutshintshe i-gear zihambisana zoyi-2 or ihlukile ngeskepe
di fapane le skepe clutch ya gona o e gatile ka loto ke button o e pushetša godimo fela then wa beya gearing same time gana mo ka letsogo le 1 ebile ke accelerator ka letsogo le 1
ibhathini yakhona ikuphi ba
e gadimo ga gear lever yona ke gear lever yone ke o pressa button then wa ishapela
yonke into isendaweni eyi-1
indaweni eyi-1 ne-accelerator full
okay so ba i-accelerator yakhona isebenza kanjani
uyipusha ka letsogo fela ka left ya gago gana mola gearing o beya on o beya gearing then wa isha pele then ke ge accelerator ya pele
ke ba sikhuluma ngepropeller ke ukuthi isebenza kanjani isikepe basiya phambili yenza kanjani isikepe basisemuva
propeller ne di blade ka mo mara di blade tša gona di khefile so so ge ya pele e tlo turnela a certain direction then e tlo ya pele so go isha reverse then propeller turnela opposite direction then e pushetša metsi pele sikepe se ya morago
so bangitshele ke ukustarta kwesikepe kuyafana nokustarta kwemoto
ke nto e one go starta unlike tše dintše le bana swantse o di choke pele o pushetše gear in go starta ga skepe go a swana le gore koloi e ne flywheel le skepe sona se ne flywheel le startara so starta the same way then engine ya duma
so bangitshele ke yini
flywheel ke mo startera se thenang gona gore engine e kgona go duma flywheel ke nto e le bane ene menwana le startera ene di-splines mo e le bane startera swantse se tle se tsamaye gona ge se thena engine
yise siqala yonke into ukuthi ihambe vele okay so bangitshele ke how does everything get coordinated
so engineer so ke in computer box e le bone e controller spark sa engine mo godimo ga di-spark plug and e controller moya o tsena ka re ga engine le petrol e swantse re tsene ka re ga engine so otherwise ge le bone maybe kore gone misunderstanding engine won't go so then really we be forward so computer box le yona e tlo kgona go botsa botsebotse especially go plug le computer go botsa gore ne e forward e swantse re ye pele otherwise ge yona ge sense ya gona ya forward neutral and reverse ge ka fail so go ra re se tlo nagana o ka re se neutral se ka se pele
How cool is it nje ukubona ukuthi isikepe phakathi sinjani futhi sisebenza kanjani?
Xa sibuya kaloku bedlane yokurhabuleni yamanzi, we'll be checking out the insides on that machine.
Uyazibuza how it's possible for a watch's arm to move around keeping exact time? Or why your friend overseas lives in a different time zone? Well, stay tuned to find out more about this.
TOMz.
Welcome back, sunny South Africa. We are so glad to have you right here with us namhlanje ku TOMz on the most amazing sci-tech show brought to you by SABC Education.
SABC1 kumzansi for sure lona. Nabetlani ilizwe lo machine is incredible. This is a small machine esibiza simple mechanisms make up these massive creations as just changing people.
Kakhulu nabo msipho. So namhlanje ke sifunda kabanzi about one of these mechanisms called gears. So we've checked out how they're used to propel boats forward, and now so we're to hit a place closer to home.
Now, I bet many TOMz is out there. Look, have some kind of watch because otherwise, if not, how would you know?
Right, well, probably half of you still keep track of your time with smartphone yakho noma computer yakho. There is a classy style that still exists in keeping a watch or a clock.
Njengalo ke amazing wristwatch right here kodwa bethina ngiqande nyani bangabuza ba bonke kule wristwatch akwenzeka ntoni anokwazi mi.
Hayi ke asithuleni kabanzi.
Oh yes, bafethu isikhathi sekhona siqhubeka ngemishini yethu sikhuluma nge-simple mechanism gears. Wasihamba sivakashela abochwepheshe bakhona namhlanje basichazela kabanzi about clocks ukuthi yenziwa kanjani and how they operate. But right now, it's time for us to get it. Nikina sibuza ukuthi isikhathi siyenziwa kanjani. Well, namhlanje you guys are tuned into the right episode. Sitshela kabanzi ukuthi isikhathi siyenza kanjani. Ngihleli no Chris sitshela more about that. Chris, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
You good?
Yes.
Welcome to TOMz.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so tell us, what are we doing here?
Okay, so we are Century Clocks.
Okay.
We're a clock manufacturing company.
Let's talk about the mechanism that makes the clock accurate. How does that work?
So this is a mechanism I have taken apart.
Yes.
I'm going to give you a basic rundown on how it works. First of all, you have a bunch of little gears, little plastic gears. Then you have this sort of U-shaped metal thing with copper wires running around it. That is called a solenoid. A battery would then fit here. The currents would then go through this solenoid and would cause these gears to start turning and in time start telling the time.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this thing apart so you can see one of the most important components of the mechanism. Inside that little cylinder silver box there is a small tiny little quartz crystal.
Yes.
It comes from the earth. It's a natural product. That quartz crystal is essential to the workings of this of the seconds. What happens is, so this is a circuit board which is surrounding it. What happens is when the power goes through that quartz crystal, it bounces. It does the electric pulse bounces. It doesn't just flow evenly.
Oh, okay.
That bouncing of electric pulse is exactly what makes the seconds tick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It makes clear sense. Cool. Chris, tell me, so how does the mechanism determine the speed of the hands on the watch?
Okay, so as I showed you earlier, we have all these little gears. These little gears turn at different speeds. And then they turn, I've now pulled apart.
Let me help you.
You grab that. That's the back basically of it. And I've just almost turned it around. So this would be the inside. Now, these three little gears here, the little plastic gears, are directly what revolve these three hands around. The biggest gear would turn the slowest. Then the next size down would move a bit faster, and then the smallest gear would move the fastest. So the biggest gear would be the hour hand. That would get placed on first directly onto that gear. We'd then place on the minutes, which would be in turn turned by that. And lastly, the second hand, which would be that little guy there. So
tell me about the seconds. How does it maintain the same speed?
Earlier, I explained to you that there is a small little quartz crystal in here.
The jumping crystal.
Exactly. So there's the electric pulses through there. It doesn't just flow. That flow actually goes through this tiny gear here at jumpy speeds. It ticks. It doesn't just continuously move.
Okay.
And it ticks at the same time every time. So it then will turn that gear, and eventually will be turning these guys that we just explained now.
So tell me, how does the time interval work? How do the hands know now it's an hour and 60 seconds now?
Okay. So earlier on we spoke about currents coming through this little section here.
Yes.
It causes each little gear to move in its time. The gears are set at different sizes to get each gear to turn at the right speed. that one there is a second hand.
Yes.
These all fit and work together to make that second hand do one revolution in 1 minute.
Okay.
That second hand will then link up to the next biggest wheel gear here, which is the minute.
Yeah.
And that would turn 1 minute in one revolution of that second hand.
Yes.
And then likewise
The hour.
with the hour, that would turn obviously a bit slower.
Okay.
As the Earth rotates around Ilanga, only certain parts of the world get sunlight and have daytime. Yolondoke, the Earth is divided into different time zones according to vertical bands that separate different parts of the Earth, which are called longitudinal lines.
Every region on these lines have a different time. The 0-degree line passing through Greenwich, a place in London that produces the standard from where we measure our time.
Umzekelo, Johannesburg time is described as GMT plus 2, where GMT stands for Greenwich Mean Time. But while it might be 4 p.m. here in South Africa, it's only 7 a.m. in Los Angeles and already midnight in Australia.
Now ixesha into enikeza umdla kakhulu kwaye I'm really glad that sinewatch kaloku to measure it with. Scientists can believe that 6,000 years ago abantu babesebenzisa the moon guys as a calendar. Imagine that.
But while some of us might think ukuthi isikhathi sesizitholile into elula lezi, kodwa many brilliant scientists are still trying to fully understand the way time and space work together.
Now we must hear to we'll be doing some time travel of our own and shoot into the digital realm.
Before you know it, SABC with the most insane future inventions, SABC gears and give you a few useful resources.
TOMz. TOMz.
Hawu guys, sephela ibreak kodwa yazi nje sebulela kuba nina nisahleli nathi apha kweligubhu lase-SABC 1 Mzansi for sure lo.
Sekufike leso sikhathi ke se-TOMz where we have to go time traveling ukuthi uthola kabanzi ukuthi kahle kahle ama-gears wona asuka phi futhi afike kanjani la.
Kwaye ke bethani kwesi siqendu kaloku okusalandelayo is our amazing career exploration ezizawuthi kaloku ikuncede wena to find your way in the world of intwana umsebenzi Bereka.
Because gears can be used for so many different machines, abantu ke have been employing them to help them with work for literally thousands of years.
Kodwa ke wena Bereka, can you guess where it all started?
Some of the earliest gears were used in China in the 4th century BC, where scientists uncovered molds from which they were made. Now, the Greek polymath Archimedes, who lived in the 3rd century BC, helped to develop the gear mechanics, while the hero of Alexandria, who came 250 years later, used gears to develop the first vending machine. Now, this machine poured out holy water when a slot was inserted at the top of the machine. Of course, the gears were also used in the shafts that actually helped gold miners up in South Africa reach their bounty, which is deep within the earth in the late 1800s. Now, new tech is giving us robots that have human reflexes and possibly an insanely cool hover bike. Who knows how to use the gears on that one? We might also see a real flying car in the next decade, who knows, which can actually take off vertically without a runway and has propellers at the end of the wings to take it forward. A new trend is the smart watches, digital devices which act as a clock, but it is also connected to features on your cell phone to show you notifications and download apps. And recently, the US Navy released their most advanced warship ever, which has the capability of housing futuristic weapons like lasers and railguns. Ouch!
So benazi ukuthi ngeensuku zakudala ama-gear wona bewenziwe nge-wood and had wooden teeth.
Ngeensuku zakudala, you mean 2,000 years ago?
Yes, actually.
Njengoba nibona ke also has a weird idea of time. Nowadays they make gears from strong materials that can take the beating, like steel, iron, and even aluminium.
But technically, you have to in about you can make gears out of any material, especially if it's for experimental purposes. So do you want to give it a try? Yes, no, maybe?
Gears are all about motion, and to understand how this works, download a Gear Geniuses free to your smartphone Konamanje. Making your way through all the levels, you'll quickly get a grip on how gears work together while having fun. And for all you young geniuses out there, be sure to get a Crazy Machine Golden Gears Lights. Layer Planner will give you more than 60 parts, your very own super machine. And it will show you your masterpiece in action. How awesome is that? And finally, to get your hands dirty at www.hometrainingtools.com by searching for the Simple Machines Science Project. With the templates, you will make your very own gears out of any material you wish and put them together for a live action system. I'm already doing mine.
Now, in the world of machines, there are tons of exciting career opportunities out there, from positions in engineering jobs to skilled jobs.
Kwaye ke enye yazo kaloku is called a fitter and turner. Coach,
Are you good at working with your hands and taking exact measurements? Do you love machines and always want to know how they work? Then check out the many opportunities to study and work as a fitter and turner. Uzodinga grade 9 wakho lana. Recommended subjects is math and math literacy, physical science, and uzofunda kabanzi about mathematics, engineering drawing, fitting and machining, engineering science, and mechanotechnology. Imisebenzi uzoyithola lana is maintenance and repairs, assembling and fitting components, using blueprints, measuring materials, monitoring machinery. There are different routes to become a fitter and a turner. Kodwa la eMzansi ama-colleges now offer courses in this area. You will also do an apprenticeship and hands-on training.
So then I guess there's a lot of physical work involved in fitting and turning. It was fun nokuma, bending, crouching, yes, and then it's a job as out ugcina ufit man.
Now, noma yipi career oyikhethayo, a bit of inspiration can always go a long way. Yazi ukuthini? Have a listen.
Making your own clock can be a lot of fun. I would strongly suggest you go get yourself a little clock mechanism. Maybe make your own base. You can get it out of wood, out of plastic. You can do whatever you like. It can be rewarding, and you can make a little business out of it. You can, something special that you can sell at a flea market, and who knows where it'll go from there.
I really nyaka go look dikepe le dia mechanic wa dikepe le sanjo le fetching matric wa lena, and then go tloga mo madile metal science from there, and then le FET college ba tla ruta ka mechanical skepe orna stick engine just skepe di bereka jwa.
Kufika xhibezana apho ninemakhaya nithetha nathi sithethe nani sidetsana wena ngoku social sessions now ke siya namhlanje siphethe bani wapi esithini yena.
Well, namhlanje siphethe abantu abakhulu ngempela ku Facebook oqala siphethe ubonganyeni uyabuza ukuthi kahle kahle bafethu yini i-algae. Well, i-algae tshela wena mfethu ukuthi kahle kahle it's that plant that grows in fresh or salty water and it looks really green. So nje la ubona khona ukuthi la amanzi sehlala isikhathi eside yakhula kwazi ukukhula nasemakhoneni. Kodwa ke if you want more information on i-algae bengenza njani?
Ninga subscribe guys to our YouTube page, TOMz TV. We've got all the episodes, Payana. Great show, guys. Thank you for the teachings. It's only our pleasure. See you.
Easy, man. Let's jump on facebook.com/TOMZ at TOMZ_SABC_1. Lapana ku Twitter. If you sola ku Instagram benzinjani.
Single TOMz TV _SABC. What?
Till then, siti keep tweeting. I get manje bangani bami sesifike emaphethelweni ohlelo lwethu namhlanje, but thank you so much for spending this incredible afternoon with us. And ngakhohlwa ukukhuluma nathi lapha ku social media platforms wethu ku Twitter, ku Facebook sikhona.
Wake usiya goes off to fix i-gears kwibike yakho ukhumbula kuba ungaya ku www.tomz.co.za uba ufumana inkcukacha ezithe vetshe kwaye ungalibali to send those study applications in on time. Yes, noMzansi Africa. Siyanthanda. Bye.
Next time on TOMZ, we go right into the world of information technology. Funa kabanzi ukuthi programming yona isebenza kanjani. Check out this really cool IT innovation. Ubene futhi ufuna kabanzi ngeUbuntu, a really cool software that embodies the concept. Check this out again while tuning to TOMZ every Monday and Tuesday at 4 p.m. Konalago SABC 1 Mzansi for sure.